Hello, good evening, ma. Am I audible? Hello. So, any doubts in the last class? Anyone having any doubts? Any programming issues are there? Please let me know. Any doubts? We are talking about functions, right? I asked you to write some functions, okay, for small like arithmetical operations. I asked, right? Is it right? Okay. So, any doubts, ma? Have you written any function? Have you written any function by your own in Python? Yes. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, I'll continue with the same concept functions, so that if there are any doubts, your doubts will be clarified. Actually, I'm waiting for the students to join. So anyway, 30 students are there. I'll start. So I'll revise the things what we seen. I think some of the students are forgotten because it's a new topic. Maybe you are not there in the last class. Just I'll revise things what we seen in the previous class. 5 minutes. Okay, so in the last class we started a topic called functions, right? And I defined what is a function with some points, and I explained why we are going to use that points for the definition of a function. Okay, and I given some examples also what function will do. Okay, and how many times you can call a function, what is function definition, what is function calling. I explained with some examples, right? Is it right? And I given small task also on functions for doing some okay, for printing something, printing your name or printing some other details using some function. Okay, anyway, so I'll go for some more examples. So here, so functions are of two types. Functions are of two types. This is there in all the languages. Okay, so it's there in C also, Java also. Two types of functions will be there. One is inbuilt functions, and second one is user-defined functions. Two types of functions are there in Python also, similar to other languages: inbuilt functions and user-defined functions. Inbuilt means you can say in our day-to-day life, inbuilt means ready-made. Okay, ready-made available. Already they are available. User-defined means user has to define. User has to write, or user has to define. So in today's class, we'll see what are the different types of inbuilt functions available in Python. Already most of the functions already we know, but already most of the functions we know because already we used most of the inbuilt functions in most of the programs, but you don't know that is inbuilt function. So that's why just I'm trying to explain what are the inbuilt functions available in Python, right? So inbuilt functions means already available. We don't need to modify. You don't need to do anything. The only thing is just you have to use it, or just you have to call it. Okay, so it's already available, just you have to call it. So what are the inbuilt functions? For example, we seen in uh, lists, tuples and string. the common function. This is len. Okay, so len is one of the common function. It is available. Okay, so here by default it is going to return the length of the list or length of the string or length of the tuple. So are we written this function? This is not written by us. This is by default available in Python. This is already available in Python. So that's why it is known as one of the inbuilt function in Python. Okay, so we'll see with some examples so that you can understand inbuilt function. Inbuilt functions means already available, right? So let me take some list. A is equals to some list 10, 20, 30, 40. Just I want to print or I want to print the length. Then what I'll use? I can use len function. Len function. For that I am going to send the list len of a. So it is nothing but len is a function. For that I am sending the list. Okay. So it's going to return 4 arguments are there. Okay. Same function will be there for strings also. If I take any string, string like Python, if I am going to write len of years, again it's going to return how many number of characters are there. And same string, same will be there for people also. I have some people with some elements, and if I want to know its length, okay, length of t, then we'll get the length of t, how many number of elements are there in a tuple. Okay, so like that, len is one of the inbuilt function or default function. The other name for inbuilt function is also we can call it as default function or ready-made function. Okay, so these all are same. Okay, inbuilt function, ready-made function, all are same. Next function is we'll have int. This is also function only. This is also we used so many times. What is this function? Length is nothing but simply finds the length of a string or list or tuple. So this is it's going to find out length of the string or list or a tuple. What about int? Int is nothing but it's okay, converting to int, converts to whatever the information or whatever the data you are given, the data will be converted to integer format. That is nothing but a int. So very simple example, in most of the cases we are going to return, okay, int of input. What is int of input? It's converting. Okay, so I'll write int of something like a 3.4. What this will do? Int is a function. 3.4 is some float value. Then what it will do? It is going to convert this 3.4 to integer. So then I want to print its value. Print of, I want to print int of 3.4. Then what it will do? It is going to convert this 3.4 value to integer. So this is nothing but an example for int function. Int function is going to convert or it's going to change the data from some other data types to integer data type. I think it's clear, right? Is it clear? The concept of inbuilt functions. What type of functions are known as inbuilt functions? Inbuilt functions are the functions which are available by default in Python. We are not implementing anything. We are not writing any program to implement inbuilt functions. Okay, we are going to implement some functions. Okay, what type of functions we are going to implement? The functions what we are going to implement are known as user defined functions. User defined. User defined means the user has to define. The user has to write some program. The user has to write some code. Depending on his requirement, he will write some code. That type of functions are known as user defined functions. Okay, we'll see some more examples for inbuilt functions. Okay, so float is also one of the inbuilt function. Similarly, we'll have str. Str is also one of the inbuilt function. So what this will do? This float is going to convert the input to whatever the input you are given, that will be converted to float format. So float function is going to convert input to float format. And what about this? This is going to convert your input to string format. Okay. So we'll see that examples also. like float of some 50. Okay, so if I want to print 50 in a float format, then I can use print of float of 50. So then the value of 50 will be printed. So 50.0 is the conversion value of 50 to float. How can I convert? I can convert by using float function. Similarly, I want to convert. I want to convert print of, okay, some string of okay, some number 100. Okay, so this 100 will be converted to string. Okay, so here these all are the inbuilt functions. Int is inbuilt function, float and string. So these all are inbuilt functions only. So like this, we are having some other inbuilt functions in Python. So inbuilt functions are the functions, they are not defined by the user. They are already defined in the Python itself. Okay, you don't need to define any inbuilt function. Already they are defined. Just you try to use it. Just you try to call them. If you call that, then automatically. And some examples like uh, max. Max is a one more function, and min is one more function. So max means it returns maximum value. Okay, return maximum value. And similarly, min also. Min is going to return the minimum value. It will return minimum value. Return minimum value. Okay. So already we've seen this max and min. Again, I'll give some example. Okay. For example, already we have some list A, right? A. This list. I want to find maximum and minimum values. So simply what I write, I can write max function. Max of A. So what is max of A? Maximum value is 40. And similarly, I want to return minimum value of A. So then I will use min function. These all are all inbuilt functions. Max is inbuilt and min is also inbuilt. So we are not writing any logic for max or min. Okay. So similarly, we are having some other functions like if you want to convert here A is a list. I want to convert into tuple. Then you can use tuple also. Tuple is also one of the function. If you want to convert the data to tuple format, then you can use tuple. Okay. So convert to tuple. Convert to tuple. Okay. We can convert this A. A is actually list. If you want, you can check it out. A is a list. So then what I'll write, I want to convert this list to tuple. Tuple of A. Okay. So now A is converted to tuple. Okay. Similarly, if you want to convert to some sets, set is also one of the function. So I want to convert this A to set. So now if you observe here, it is written in curly brace. Always sets will be written in curly brace. So set is also one of the function. Tuple is also one of the function. So all these are inbuilt functions only. We are not created any of the function. Okay. So convert to set. Okay, I hope all of you are getting right. Any doubts? Any doubts? Please respond any doubts if you have any doubts. Okay, so some other functions we'll see. Some more functions. Okay, I think all of you know some mathematical functions. Maybe you studied in your C language or maybe in your mathematics. You studied some functions like ABS. What is ABS? Absolute. It's going to return absolute value. Absolute value. What is absolute value? Absolute value is a value. For example, ABS of -4. What is ABS of -4? It's a 4. Absolute means it doesn't consider the signature, the sign. Whether it is plus or minus, it won't consider. It is going to return only the quantity, or it's going to return only the value. It doesn't consider the sign. So this is one of the function that is also inbuilt function in Python, right? So for example, I can consider b value is equals to -9. Okay, then I want to print ABS of b. ABS of b. What is ABS of b? Absolute value of b. That absolute value of b is nothing but 9 only. It doesn't consider whether it is plus or minus. If you want to write some other value, c is equals to 9. If you want to find what is the absolute value of 9, absolute value of c, okay, it's also 9. Absolute means it doesn't consider the signature. Signature means sign, right? Okay, and some more functions like binary. Okay, binary means converting the number into binary format. Okay, so binary format. If I want to convert any number into binary format, convert to binary. So already if people are aware of binary format when we discussed about operators, right? Especially when we discussed about bitwise operators, I told you bitwise operators are operated only on binary numbers. Okay, so now if you want to convert any number, any decimal number to some binary number, for example, I can take d is equals to some 9. Okay, d is equals to some 9. Then I want to convert this 9 to binary format. Then what I'll do simply, I can write binary of d. Binary of d. Okay, what is the binary of d? 1001. This 0b is nothing but it is a binary. B means 0b is nothing but it is a binary format, and the value of that 9 is 1001. Okay, and similarly we'll have some other formats like octal. Octal is there. OCT is nothing but it's going to convert to octal format. Convert to octal, and we have hexadecimal. So it is going to convert to hexadecimal format. These all are inbuilt functions only. Convert to hexadecimal format. Okay, I'll give an example for the same. So for example, E is equals to some 325. Okay, so octal of E. Octal means a number with a base 8. So octal of E. If you observe here, already I told you 0 is by default. P means binary. Here 0 O means octal. And this is the value. This is a converted value of the given number in octal format. Next, if you want, you can consider some F is equals to some 900. I want to convert to hexadecimal format. Hexadecimal, X of F. So this is hexadecimal is going to be denoted with the X. Okay, octal is denoted with the O. Binary is going to be denoted with the B. And this is the number after converting 900 to hexadecimal format. These all are actually inbuilt functions only. We are not created any function. Okay, none of the functions are created. Just we are using whether with some examples. Just we are using that with some examples, right? Any doubts? Ma? Please respond if you have any doubts. Any doubts? Okay, right. So now we'll see some more examples. Okay, some more functions one more function is exec. Okay, what is exec? Exec is nothing but it is execute. Okay, it is for execute. Okay, if I want to execute some expression, okay, so it is going to execute that expression. Execute. So I'll give an example for this so that you can understand. I'll write a very simple program so that you can understand better. So just A is equals to some 10. Okay, exec execute. Okay, so here I am going to write the statement print of some A is equals to 10. Okay, so A is equals to 10. Okay, so here all of you please observe here. I used single quote for print also, because this entire thing will be written in the form of an expression. This is nothing but a expression. Okay, and similarly, if you want to write, you can write one more statement, exec of, you can write a print of okay, a plus 5, right? So now just you can see how this will be executed, this function, how this function will be executed, we'll see. Okay, it is going to execute that function. If you observe here, the output of this program is, we got first line output is true and second line output is 15. So because why it is returning true, because 10 is equals to 10, so that's why it is executing that, and it is returning true. 10 is equals to 10 is true, and next a plus 5, that is 10 plus 5, that is it is returning 15. So this is also default function only. Okay, we are not written any code for this, just we are using exec function, that's it. Okay, and next some other functions like I want to find the sum. Okay, I want to find out the sum of I'll write here. So next function is sum. So what is this function? Sum is nothing but it is used to find out the sum of elements in a list. Okay, so sum of elements in list or in a tuple. For example, okay, for example, I have some list L is equals to 10, 20, 30. Okay, just I want to find out sum is equals to, I can store in some other variable. Okay, tot is equals to sum of L. Okay, print of total. Okay. So this is nothing but by default here we are using this function. This is inbuilt function sum. Okay, it is adding all the numbers in the list. Okay, so this is also inbuilt function sum. Sum is used to find out the sum of all the elements in a list, right? So that's why it is also known as inbuilt function. Right? Any doubts? Any doubts? Next, one more function is there that is similar to your execute function. That function is known as evaluate. Maybe I think all of you heard about this word evaluate in your mathematics. Evaluate an expression, evaluate the following expression. Okay. So what is evaluate function? It is going to find out the value for the given expression, and it will find out the answer for the given expression. Okay, how this will evaluate, we'll see with an example. So for example, a is equals to some 9. A is equals to some 9. Print of evaluate of, and I can write the expression here. Okay. I can write the expression here, a plus 2. Okay, so this is nothing but evaluate of, okay, a plus 2, that is 9 plus 2. It's going to find out the value, evaluation. Not only with one operator, you can use other operators like minus, into, all the operators you can use. Okay, and one more important function. Already we discussed about this function also. Okay, the function is format. Remember, already we used this function when we discussed about strings. Okay, So what this function is going to do? This function is going to uh, gives the formatted representation of the value of the given value. Okay, it's going to give the formatted representation of the given value. So I'll explain with some example. Already we've seen some examples for this, but anyway, okay. So now I am going to this is example for format function. So I want to write print of format of okay, for example some 20 comma I want to express this in integer format. So integer format is we are going to use D. Okay, D means it's a integer format, or we can say it's a decimal format. Okay, so it is a decimal format, or we can say it's a integer format. It's for integer. Okay, next I want to write something for float. Then what I write print of format of some example like 123.67 comma. Okay, we can write some f is for format, right? So here this is for printing the information in float format. Okay, and first one is printing the value in integer format, and next one is I want to print something in binary format. Print of I want to print some value in binary format. Print of format of some 9 comma I want to print this in binary. I want to print this in binary format, right? So this is nothing but printing the information in various formats. That is what the explanation I written here for the format function. This is the explanation what I written. If you observe here, format is used to formatted. Okay, it's going to give the formatted representation for the given value. Okay, if I given the formatted representation of %d, in your C language you can call it as %d, %f like that. But here d means integer, or we can call it as decimal. F means float, and b means binary. Okay, so in this way we can use the format function for getting the different formats of the data. So here I am setting format. Okay, so if you observe here, these are the different formats. Okay, so 9 is in binary format, so that's why we got 1001, and this float is in 123.67. I want in float format, so that's why it is giving the data in float format, and 20 is going to be okay printed in integer format, right? Any doubts? Any doubts? Is it clear to all? Any doubts, ma? If you have any doubts, please let me know, because this is very important concept. Already, if you remember where we discussed about this format function means, whenever we used this strings, okay, in strings we use this format function actually. Okay, you can use it for different data types, whether it is a string or whether it is an integer, or for other data types also you can use. Okay, and other functions, other inbuilt functions, like we'll have some mathematical functions. Okay, so what are the mathematical functions? We'll have ceil function, floor function. Maybe you can study in your mathematics. Ceil function. This is also inbuilt function only. And a floor function. Ceil function and floor function. Okay. So, for example, ceil means the upper value. Floor means the lower value. If I want to know the ceil of some 9.8, output is 10. Okay. Yes. So ceil is not defined. Why it is not defined means this function is written in written in math.h. Okay. So means in your C language it's written math.h. Similarly in Python it is written in math module. Okay. So ceil and floor will be written in math module. Floor and ceil. So that's why first we are going to import math. Math.ceil of 9.8. Okay, now we'll get the ceil value of 9.8 is 10. Okay, now similarly if I want to access floor value, math.floor of 6.3. What is the lowest value for 6.3? 6. Okay, so math.ceil, math.floor, and similarly if I want to access factorial, math.factorial, factorial. I want to find out factorial of 5. Factorial of 5 is 120. But in general, if I asked you a factorial in C language, okay, you are supposed to write a program in C to find out the factorial. But here, by default, without writing any program, you can get the factorial of any number. So that is the specialty of Python. In C or Java, you don't have any factorial function inbuilt. You don't have inbuilt factorial function. You are supposed to write a program. But here, by default, without writing a single line of code, directly you can use this function. Okay, all of you understanding, right? Any doubts regarding this inbuilt functions or default functions? Inbuilt functions, also known as default functions, in our day-to-day life, we can call it as ready-made. Inbuilt means ready-made. In our late terms, we can call it as ready-made. Okay, right. Okay, so actually, this ceil function, floor function, factorial function, all these are available in math. Okay, like in your C language, you have math.h. In math.h, you are having all mathematical functions. So similarly, in here, in Python also, math is actually a module name. Module. In module, we have functions. In C language, we have header file. In header file, we have functions. But in Python, this is known as module. Math is module, and this ceil is nothing but a function. Floor is a function, and factorial is a function. Okay, and one more important function already we see in that one also. That is ID. ID is nothing but to return identifier. Okay, identifier, or we can say the reference, or we can say the address. Okay, for example, I have some A is equals to some 34. If I want to know ID of A, it's going to give us the address or the identifier or the reference. So this is nothing but a ID. Okay, so in this way, and one more function that is also we already seen in the previous classes, complex. Complex is converting the data to complex format. Complex format. For example, complex of 6. Then it will convert this to complex format. That is A plus BJ format. It's going to convert into complex format. Okay, 6 is nothing but it's real, but I don't have any imaginary data. Then what I'll do, it is going to convert into 6 plus 0j. Or if I have some two numbers, complex of 9, 5, what it will do, it's going to convert into A plus BJ format. So where A is the first number and B is the second number. So because here there is no second number, So the second number, the imaginary part will become 0. That's why 0j. But here I given two numbers. So first is real and second one is imaginary. Any doubts, ma? Any doubts so far? Okay. So please, all of you, try to understand and try to practice the things. Okay, so that it's very simple. Actually, if you practice these concepts, these all are actually, you don't need to write any code. Just you should know what are available in Python. If you know what are available, then automatically, okay, because we are supposed to use these functions, okay, somewhere in our upcoming classes. So that is the reason why you should know, okay, so what type of things are available, what type of functions are available, what type of okay, functions are unavailable. So that is very important. And one more function relating to numbers, we can say mathematics, that is div mod. Okay, so div mod means what this function will do, it is going to give you the remainder and quotient. Okay, it's going to give you the remainder and as well as quotient. It will get return remainder and quotient. Very simple. So if I return some div mod of, for example, 100 comma 4. So 100 comma 4. So div mod means when I divide this 100 with 4, what is the quotient? What is the remainder? Quotient is 25. Remainder is 0. Okay, quotient is 25 and the remainder is 0. So this is also one of the useful function where, okay, you can use these functions, especially when you are working with some big numbers. Okay, for example, you want to work with some big numbers, then you should know what is remainder, what is quotient. For example, I want to work with some number, okay, some big number. So I want to work with this number. Okay, so immediately we'll get what is the quotient and what is the remainder. Maybe you can work with either quotient or remainder. So that's why it's very useful function, especially whenever you are working with large mathematical related applications. Okay, so any doubts? So most of the functions, these are the most of the functions where we are going to use, and already we seen some other functions like range, also one of the important function. Already we seen this range function when we discussed about the loops, for loop. I told you most of the times this range function will be used in for loop, range of some 10. So it's going to print from 0 to 9. So range of 0 to 10. 10 will be excluded anyway. So it's going to print from 0 to 9. Okay, and input is also one of the function. Input is also one of the function. It is going to use the, it will use the user to enter something. Input means it's going to take some data from the user. It will take the input from the user. Okay, for example, if I return input, okay, input of enter something, input of enter something. Okay. If you observe here, when I return input of enter something, it is okay, some cursor is blinking here. So what is the meaning of the cursor blinking? Some black colored line is coming and going. So that is nothing but it is expecting something from me. That is the meaning of input function. Okay, it is also one of the very important function. So it is expecting something from us, right? And if any of you are there from C language background, any of you are there here C language background students, maybe I think they may heard about the word ASCII characters. Okay. So ASCII characters is nothing but the ASCII value of a particular character. For example, capital A will have 65, okay, 66, 67, like that. So here also, if you want to know the ASCII value of a particular character, then we can use the ASCII function, okay. And similarly, we'll have one more function called power. Power is nothing but it's also available in your C language. Power, okay, some 2 to the power of 4. Power of, if I return something like 2 comma 3, then I return going to give you 8. Okay, power is also one of the function, 2 to the power of 3. Okay, and one more important function, that is reversed. 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 What is meant by reversed? Reversed means it's going to give you the reverse of a list. Okay? Reverse of a list. In some of the versions, it is not available. In Python old versions, it's not available. Only it's available in new versions. I don't know whether in my version it's my version is 3.8. I need to check whether it's available or not. Let me check with some example. L is equals to some 9 comma 6 comma 4 comma 5. Reversed of reversed yes, reversed of L. Okay, so here it is giving some value. Okay, so what you are going to do, right? You are going to write. You are going to convert this. You are going to convert this again into list. So how you are going to write list of reversed of reversed of L. Then only you get the reverse list. This is the reverse list. 5469 is the reverse list for the actual list 9645. So here, what is this? This is not an error. Okay, this is returning reverse iterator. It is reverse iterator means it is giving some value, but it is not in a human readable format. It's not in the format what we are expecting. So then simply what you will do, just you convert this into the list format. So that's why I converted into the list format. This is the actual reversed list by using the default function reverse. And we'll have one more function called round. Round. What is this round? Round is nothing but, for example, I want to round this 10.9. Okay, so round off. For example, if some student got some 69 point some 8 percentage, if I ask what is your percentage, then it's immediately will going is going to up that side 69.8 to some 70 percentage. Round off means it is somewhat similar to your seal function. Means the next value. Round off means the next value. Okay, and already we know the function like type. Type is very important. Already we know this. Okay, the beginning of Python only we see in type of some A. Okay, what type of the variable it's having? It's going to return the what type of data that particular variable is having. Okay, so I hope it's clear to all, right? Any doubts, please let me know in the chat box if you have any doubts. So this is about actually default functions in Python or inbuilt functions in Python, or we can say ready-made available functions in Python. ID is nothing but actually it is going to return some reference, some address. ID. For example, if I asked what is your ID, ID means maybe some identity proof number I am asking, like your Aadhaar number or your PAN number, unique ID number. Okay, similarly, for all the variables, whatever you are using in our program, it should have some unique ID, some unique identification. So that is, it is going to return that number. That is actually we don't know what is that? It is some numbers. That's it. How many inbuilt functions are there? Okay, inbuilt functions, how many means? Depending on the module, will have so many inbuilt functions are there. For example, now if you observe here, especially for these functions, especially for these three functions like ceil, floor, and factorial, I used this math, import math I used. But for other functions, I didn't return any import keyword. I didn't use import keyword. Okay. So if you don't use any import keyword, then almost you'll have 30 to 40 functions are there. But these functions are also known as inbuilt functions only. But these are inbuilt functions for the module math. Okay, like that we'll have so many inbuilt functions will be there. That is depending on the module. In which module, okay, you want the functions. Is it clear? Tomorrow you can create your own module and you can write your own function also. For example, tomorrow whenever we are going to discuss about the functions, user-defined functions, you can create your own user-defined function. You can create some 100 functions, user-defined functions. You can write some 100 user-defined functions and you can keep 100 user-defined functions in a single module. Then if I access your module, then I can able to access your 100 functions. I think you're getting right my point. Okay, yeah. So still any more doubts?